everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Hi, this is Susan Sackett.
This is Fred Bronson.
Madam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek,
the Humanist Trek Podcast.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek,
a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
Look at this cat's asshole. Like, it's in my face.
No, it's in the camera. I can see it. I can't now. He's moved, but
You're sitting on my phone. I have to put my head on that phone. Why do you want to be up here?
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Welcome aboard.
Jean-Luc Picard to the starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
And it's enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the starship Enterprise.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Jolon True, and welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ash.
And we just got back from Fort Collins Comic-Con, so we have lots to talk about there. But before we get into that, Allie, answer the communicator.
Your call is very important to us. You are caller number 5.
Warp to Captain. Incoming transmission. It is coded Priority 1.
Put it through, Mr. Wolf.
New patron, the Mat Man, who we met at TrekFest in Iowa.
Yeah.
Sent us some goodies.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool.
Right?
It's
Star Trek Delta Flyer. This is all 3D printed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super cool. This has sold me on I'm getting a 3D printer.
I'm getting one too.
Yeah. So then there's this one.
What is that? That's just is that a poster?
He who controls the spice controls the universe. That's Picard in what is that? Dune,
but with a
Death Star in the background, right? And then at the bottom, may the force be with you.
Oh my god!
It reminds me of that meme.
I think I've seen that.
Use the force, Harry. It reminds me of that, and it's a Gandalf quote. Use the force, Harry. This one is super fucking cool as well.
Oh, nice. Is that also 3D printed or a poster?
Yeah, it's 3D printed.
Oh, is the other one 3D printed too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's got like loads of detail.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay, and then here's another one that is a starship blueprint.
Love it.
And then he sent us a contemplative Spock. And you can't really see it, but it's like an iridescent.
Like a shiny. Yeah.
Shiny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I can see it.
It's got like a...
I saw a bunch of those at STLV.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it really looks like.
Yep.
It's like my cat eye nail polish.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it.
And then there's one more thing that I'll bring with us to Fort Collins. It's a surprise for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So thank you so much, the Mat Man.
Thank you, Matt.
You just
That's
sold.
Awesome.
You just sold 2 3D printers.
I know, right? Did he happen to tell you which printer, which model he
has? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. It's plug and play. Apparently, super easy to use, and you can scale items very easily, like in the software. So cool.
Okay. Well, send it my way, and I guess we're buying one.
Yep.
Or 2, rather.
So we just got back from Fort Collins, another wonderful weekend. We always enjoy going to Fort Collins, largely, I think, for me, because we get to see people that we've made friends with over these last few years that we've been going, and like, you know,
Yeah.
seeing people again that catching up. That's fun.
And then shout out to the people who already listened to the podcast and just like swept by and were like, "Oh, we're so and so." And they're like, "I already listened." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah.
And,
What?
yeah. And then of course we had one of our listeners, Hootie. Shout out to Hootie.
Hootie. Oh my gosh.
I
This was so cool.
about to cry. I was like, I felt so honored. He brought us some art that he made from, and I can't remember the name of the episodes, but 2 episodes of Star Trek TNG. And then
One of them was when they played Stratagema.
yeah, that one. And then the other one, I don't know. It was a woman with a bat'leth,
Hmm.
but it was done in like ink pen, and then and it was done with the characters were in the negative space, and then the dots were the entire script of that episode.
Yeah.
Still working on framing it, but I did not bend it. It is I got it home.
Allie was very worried about it being bent in travel.
I was like, no, we have to keep it safe. Keep it safe, keep it secret. So yeah, it is good, and I can't wait to get it framed.
Yeah, that was so cool. First of all, that anybody would like have any interest in us to the point where like I want to bring you my art. That's so touching. Like I don't even know what to say. That's just so fucking cool.
And it's such cool art. Like
Mhm.
that is like genius, you know. I'm gonna keep that forever. So thank you, Hootie.
Hootie, you're the best. It's always nice to visit with our crew from the USS Tiburon.
Mm-hmm.
So Bran and the whole crew there, that was great. Jace, we met Jace the first time.
Yeah.
I've adopted Jace. Jace is now my adoptive child. I'm going to take care of them.
Gabrielle. We also met
Mhm.
Gabrielle. And I kept getting Jace and Gabrielle mixed up because they were dressed exactly alike, and they both had short blonde hair.
Uh-huh.
And then was it Kristen? Met her. She talked to us for a really, really long time, and then she brought her friend later.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really nice to get to just have these really cool discussions. We met Deirdre from the USS Cordilleran, I think, which is
Cordilleran.
Cordilleran. I might get that wrong. I don't know. It will be interesting to continue to connect with her, because I think that Star Trek group is up in Fort Collins or in that area, I think.
Yeah, they're North Colorado.
Okay.
With that in mind, let me just tell you that they are having a fundraiser on September 19th to benefit Project Self-Sufficiency of Northern Colorado. They are hosting a sci-fi and fantasy themed costume party and silent auction from 6 to 9. And then at 9 o'clock, they're going to show outdoors Star Trek First Contact.
Yay! I'm totally going to try to get up there. I would love to just go to an outside movie and chill with other Star Trek nerds.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Super cool. But yeah, just great groups of people that are just amazing and doing great things out in their communities to support. The Tiburon always adopts out tribbles to support the suicide prevention organization there in the county, and just great stuff. Good people. And then we hosted our panel this year. When did Star Trek get so woke?
What? Clutch pearls.
Yes. Yeah, I really wish I could have pulled off buying some fake costume jewelry pearls to set on all the chairs before we started. We didn't have time to get in there and do that anyway.
No, we were rushing to get set up. Maybe next year. We'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah. I thought it was a fun panel. We were kind of up until the nth hour finalizing some of the details, but that's one I think we could take on the road that I think would be a popular panel.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you want us to come to your area, let's talk.
Yeah.
What else?
Melody was there. We got to see her. We got to see Kjell Lindgren.
Nailed it. Okay, so first, let's talk about Melody Mobley. She is incredible. She was the first Black woman USDA forester who we met last year, and I love what she did this year. She had stickers that said, "I'm a friend of Melody Mobley." It was such a perfect idea for her to do, because literally when you meet this woman, You have been friends for life.
Yep.
And that's just how she is. And I love it.
You will fall in love with her. Like literally,
Mhm.
she's the sweetest woman you could ever meet. And
Yeah. Love her. Yeah. And then Dr. Kjell, I'm sure the K is silent. Kjell Lindgren. Yeah. He is a physician and NASA astronaut serving as the Deputy Director of Flight Operations Directorate at Johnson Space Center, where he leads the execution of NASA's human spaceflight mission. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, he came up and he came to the booth and we took a picture with him, which was like kind of blew my brains there. Like, what the hell?
And then later he gave us a space, what does he call it? A NASA meatball, which is
the NASA meatball sticker.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then another little patch of an astronaut. So we got patches to put on our various things.
Yeah. So it was pretty wild being dressed up as fake space people, hanging with an
A real
actual
space person?
real space people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He spent 311 days in space, like actual real life astronaut. So fucking cool. We didn't really get around a lot this year. We had a great booth neighbor who was a lot of fun. Michael, he's an artist and tattoo artist
Absolutely.
in Fort Collins.
We definitely got to
So cool.
mention Michael because I'm going to go back up there and I've been talking about getting a nerdy sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
I've already got a Dalek on my shoulder and I'm going to get a nerdy sleeve. And at the end of the con, I'm like, you know what? I want you to do my tattoo. He's like, I would be honored. So I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
He's going to do my tattoo. So I'll probably have to go back up. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Fort Collins at the end of this year. But yeah, I'll go back up and work with him on a design and he's going to do it. So
Awesome. So that's Fort Collins. We had a great time. As always, thanks Fort Collins for having us. And then pretty soon here, you're going to Dragon Con.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the energy. I haven't been to Dragon Con probably since 2015, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
But I was at Star Trek Las Vegas talking to people, and I'd met a couple of people from Atlanta like last year or year before and became friends. And she's like, well, come up and you can stay with me, because if anyone's gone to Dragon Con, the biggest expense is usually the hotel. So I'm like, okay. I mean, if I don't have to pay for a hotel, that would be great. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, can I swing it? Do I have the energy? But we're going. Karen is going.
You got this.
Karen's going.
Yeah.
I'm going. And yeah, I miss. It'll be nice to be back in the South again to see what that's like. So.
Will it?
Yeah, I mean, I get to come home. So,
That's true. That's true.
but yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and like all nerd cons, it's a pretty safe space for people who are different.
Yes.
Even in the South. And perhaps especially in the South.
Especially in the
that
South.
kind of stuff is needed more there than ever.
Oh man, it is. There's probably a lot of other stuff that happened, but we just don't remember.
All right, let's see what you remember about this episode. It's Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 4, Episode 5, Remember Me.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? Got something, sir.
Intruder alert, sir.
It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse com.
Number one, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number one, keep them out of my way.
We opened this episode with that classic reused shot of the D approaching the space dock type starbase seen in the TOS feature films as well. They use this one a lot, and I love. Again, it's my favorite starbase.
They're going, and do you know how big that fucking starbase has to be for them to be able to maneuver the ship inside the starbase?
Right?
Because that's the shot, is that they're going into a hangar.
Maybe it's bigger on the inside.
Maybe.
Over this, we hear Dr. Crusher recording a log. Apparently, we're here for a scheduled crew rotation, which also includes an Uber passenger, Dr. Dalen Quace. So she's in the transporter room to welcome Dr. Quace as he beams in, and they make some small talk. And head out into the hallway.
She thanks O'Brien and he says, "My pleasure." And I want to put a pin in this scene because we'll come back to it. But I have to say, Dalen Quace, that name sounds like something like one of those name generators. It's so strange.
Yeah. Old Man Quace is played by Bill Irwin, whose most notable credits include the word man. Man on a plane in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Man in Airport in Home Alone. And 70-year-old man in Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. And you'll recall that's the second time. Yeah.
Okay. Why we need to apparently watch that movie.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
The universe is telling us something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you will recall we had another guest actor, William Dennis, who played Ambassador Sarek's chief of staff, that was in Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead.
So they do a walk and talk down the corridor, and we get to know more about Dalen Quace. Crusher tells him, she's sorry to hear about his wife who passed away recently, and she asks him if her death is why he's giving up his post on the starbase. And that is why. Basically, there's too many reminders of her around, and they had a good life together, etc. But just having all those reminders was distracting. And then she says something about her and Jack, Wesley's dad, saying, they didn't have a long time together, but she understands. And then Quace drops some old man knowledge on her, the worst part about growing old. I find myself doing this to people too as I get older, and I hate it. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was going to be that way. But yes. But basically, a lot of the people that all your life are gone. You get to watch them die, and you don't realize that you didn't take the time to tell them, that you love them or that you appreciate them.
That all really telegraphs some of the emotions that Beverly is about to face in this episode.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And he apologizes. He's like, "I'm sorry. I don't mean to lay all this on you."
He's a very endearing old man.
Yeah, very sweet.
Yeah, it's too bad he's not in the episode very long.
Man on transporter? Is that
yeah, right? Down in engineering, Wes is working on another experiment, and Geordi comes in hot, demanding that Wes shut it down and turn the warp engines back on. And Wes is doing that teenager shit my kid does when I'm trying to get him to turn off his game and get in the car because we got to be somewhere at a certain time.
One more level?
Just
one
a minute. Yeah, just one. Yeah, one more level. What? Just a minute, Geordi. Yeah, a minute turns into 5, 10, and then an hour later, and it's like, come on.
Yep.
Beverly drops by to check on her son, just as he hollers to Geordi that he's almost ready to try the new warp field. And Geordi barks at Wes again.
Geordi's like, almost ain't good enough. You want to be the one to explain to the captain when he says engage and we just sit here?
Good stuff. He initiates the experiment, which causes a bright flash of light that nobody expected. Well, no time to get into that, though. Riker's on the tannoy because they're about to leave space dock, and so got to get it going.
Beverly's standing there. She said, don't let me interrupt. She just wanted to see her son. I think whatever the Dr. Quace said just kind of made her want to come and hug her son. So she's just watching, and then the flash happens. Wesley sees it. Geordi sees it. And he's like, "Oh, that's not supposed to happen." And then as they got to get going, he looks up and he just remembers his mom, but she's not there. So they're getting ready to move out. Riker gives the command to clear all moorings. Do you have moorings?
Yeah,
I guess.
The D flies away from the starbase, and we cut to Beverly walking up to a door and ringing the doorbell, but there's no answer. So she overrides the door, goes inside, and starts calling for Dalen, but again, no answer. She asks the computer for the location of Dr. Dalen Quace, and Magelbot says, "There's no such person aboard the D." Dun dun dun. Oh, that was so funny.
Dalen.
Oh, it's good to see you again, Beverly.
You look wonderful.
A lie I could live with. It's kind of your captain to ferry me home.
It was on our way. Thanks, O'Brien.
My pleasure, Doctor.
Crusher is waiting in the empty apartment when Worf arrives and she explains the situation. Of course, Worf has no knowledge of this passenger, which is super odd because he's in charge of security. And then Worf does that thing that tech support people always fucking do to me. He asks the computer, hey, listen, y'all know you do this. He asks the computer, where is Dr. Dalen Quace? And you can just see Beverly trying to crawl out of her skin to smack him and say, you asshole, you know damn good and well I've already tried that. You want me to power it off and back on again like I didn't already do that. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, she suggests that because Quace is an old dude, he might have fallen or busted his comm badge or something.
And he can't get up, you know?
Yeah. No life alert in the future? What the hell? So he's going to do a full search of the ship, but Worf makes a really great observation here. Where did Dr. Quace's suitcase go?
Yeah. Why would his stuff be missing if he was ever on board and he's just injured laying somewhere? Where's his shit? So they're in the ready room, the next scene, and there's Worf, Data, Picard, and Crusher. And Worf's got everybody looking for this guy on his team. And then Data says, well, he's scanned the entire ship and he can't find anybody else that isn't part of the Enterprise on board. And Crusher's like, well, you wouldn't find him if he's dead.
Now that's got to be bullshit, right? Surely sensors could detect dead people. I sense dead people.
I sense dead people. I don't know. And they're asking, and I love the fact that they don't treat her like she's crazy. They believe her. They're doing everything, even though the evidence shows this man isn't on board. They can't find him. They don't know anything about him even being aboard. They believe her.
Yes.
Picard asks, could your friend have returned to the starbase without you knowing about it? And they can check easily the transporter ID and trace logs, and even if they're negative, Picard's like, we're not going to leave anything to chance. So I love how they just fucking believe her.
Except that Data and Worf leave, and Picard is like, Doctor, you're aware of Uber's passenger policies and procedures. And she's like, yeah, super weird that Worf didn't know my friend was coming on board. And he says, yeah, well, I wasn't either.
But I told you weeks ago. You talking about? I told you. No. She told him weeks ago, apparently, but he doesn't remember. And he says maybe it was intercepted. So now they're thinking, oh, something.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the bridge, they're about to head off to Durinia 4, and Picard checks in with Data about his research. Turns out Starbase 133 also has no record of Dr. Quace at all, despite Crusher's insistence that he served there for 6 years. Even worse, Starfleet has no record of this guy at all. No service records, no birth records, nothing.
Crusher had interned with him on Delos 4. She's known him for 15 years. And Data says, I don't doubt you, but he's tried every variation of his name in the Google. And even though Crusher spells it out, Quuaice, not there.
Worf comes in, adding that his team hasn't found the guy, so they go to the only known crew member that would have seen Quace, O'Brien.
Yeah. And this is when, at this moment, Allie had to go back and look at the scene again to make sure she wasn't losing it.
So, Riker and Crusher pop down to the transporter room, and sure enough, O'Brien has no memory of Dr. Quace either. He says Beverly dropped by for some reason, but she was alone. Came in, looked around. O'Brien said, hey, can I help you with anything? And she says, thank you. And he said, my pleasure or something. And she left. So we've got a real mystery on our hands now.
That's when I went back and I watched the scene. And sure enough, the episode opens with her already in the transporter room. O'Brien at the console. They're not talking to each other. She's just standing there. Dr. Quace beams in.
They chat.
Chat.
Yep.
And then she leaves and she says, "Thank you, O'Brien." He says, "My pleasure."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, interesting.
Computer. Current location of Dr. Dalen Quace.
There is no Dr. Dalen Quace aboard the Enterprise.
Computer, where is Dr. Dalen Quace?
There is no Dr. Dalen Quace aboard the Enterprise.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Star Trek Adventures from Modiphius. Your mission: explore the universe, command your crew, and boldly go where no one has gone before. From official miniatures and dice sets to rulebooks, gaming tiles, and story guides, adventure is only a warp jump away. Visit humanistrek.com/Modiphius or click the link on our website and use code TREK for 10% off.
Crusher says, "I can't believe O'Brien would lie." And Riker, and as they're on the turbo lift, heading to sickbay because she's going to examine him, Riker's like, "Well, he believes what he says, so it's not like he doesn't think he's lying." And she's like, "Well, I didn't conjure this up, and I wasn't talking to myself." So they're going to run a diagnostic because maybe he's been tampered with in some way.
Yeah, again, this is that they take her at her word from jump. They think maybe the logs have been tampered with, maybe O'Brien has been tampered, maybe he just forgot. Like they go through every option except the doctor's crazy.
In other shows, it's usually they don't even, if something like this happened, they treat whoever as nuts. Like, and they don't even like give her the time of day. And this episode would have been really frustrating to watch if they had done that to her. I would have been so frustrated.
Yep. So they're getting off the turbo lift onto the bridge, and he tells Crusher that he's going to check out the replicator logs too, because it's been 18 hours now, and surely the old man had to have eaten something. Like, they're looking for a turn over every stone. There's got to be some trace of this guy somewhere.
Yeah.
So O'Brien is waiting in sickbay when Crusher arrives, but he's positive that he's fine and that he never saw this Quace guy. But when Crusher calls for Dr. Hill on the radio and there's no response, then Dr. Solar, also no response, and the computer states that there are no such Doctors Hill or Solar on board the Enterprise. Now, we've seen Dr. Solar, we as an audience, so she runs to the ready room to talk this out. Not only are these doctors not on board, just like Quace, there's no record of them ever existing, despite having been on the D for months. And nobody else on the ship, not even their families, remembers them. O'Brien's scans came back normal, so that ain't it. And then Wes calls in from engineering, having found something that might be related to all of this. So they head that way through the bridge, where Riker reports that nobody's seen the old man, and Worf's been monitoring internal sensors and nothing unusual there. So Picard orders a level 1 diagnostic of all those systems, and also run a manual sweep for any Naked Now or Melvar Space Cloud bullshit that might be happening.
Airborne shit. So they get to engineering, and Wesley we get to hear about his experiment. He's been experimenting with Kaczynski. Remember that guy? Comes aboard with this other alien. He's been experimenting with Kaczynski's warp field equations and trying to improve the engine efficiency. We were running a test while we were parked in Starbase, and here's what the computer recorded. They created a static warp field inside the warp drive, and the experiment was supposed to see if we could keep a bubble like that intact, but we couldn't. And there was like a flash of light, and then it was gone. And Crusher's like, "I remember that," because she was standing right there, and then she was gone. So Picard's like, "So are you saying that this bubble could have made Dr. Quace disappear?" And yeah, if he were caught in it, it would seem to us like he disappeared. But then nobody knows where he'd go. Would he end up outside their space-time continuum? But Dr. Quace wasn't even in the room, so that would make sense.
And Beverly's nurses weren't anywhere near engineering either.
Wait, there's other people missing?
So that's probably not it.
Yeah.
But that's the only possible lead we have at this point. So Geordi and Wes are going to keep working that problem. And of course, I got annoyed because he called this a working theory instead of a hypothesis. And I really do try not to be too proscriptivist with language. But in science communication, it's really important that we all agree on what words mean.
Yeah,
and
but
today,
today,
well, even then, the theory of evolution, it's just a theory. And that this kind of misuse of the word theory reinforces people's lack of understanding about what a theory really is. I digress. Crusher drops by sickbay and finds it completely deserted now, and she hustles right to the bridge. But when she starts telling the boys that basically all of her staff is gone, they're like, you don't have a staff. And she's like, hang on. You're telling me I'm the only medic on the ship with over 1,000 people and I don't have a staff? That's nuts. And Data says, yeah, there's only 230 people on the Enterprise.
She's like, what?
So more people are missing. And after this little outburst, Picard's like, into my office now, please. And they have a, you're sure you're not going mental conversation.
Yeah. Now is when they're like, okay,
Maybe
something's
it's
not
you.
right with you.
Yeah.
Because Picard makes a cup of tea, make Earl Grey hot, and he's like, so you're saying that the ship's lost nearly 800 people? She's like, I know this sounds crazy, but none of the scans show any anomalies, no intruders. Wesley, they still think that Wesley's experiment had nothing to do with it. And Picard does say, like, I have no choice but to believe you. The safety of the crew is at stake, and I've got to be sure that she hasn't lost her mind. And she says, I've examined myself, and because I'm the only doctor on board, I had to examine myself. And there's no signs of dysfunction at all.
He wants to be sure, though, so she's going to drop by and see Troy. But on her way out, she pleads with Picard to go back to Starbase for a full diagnostic. And he agrees because he has always trusted her. Her word has always been enough for him to make a decision.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And while she's in sickbay, there's some sort of weird flashing light, like blue light that comes out of the wall, and there's some wind. And it's starting to suck her towards it.
In fact, it's sucking so hard, giggity, she has to hang onto a doorway to keep from being pulled in.
Yeah. And then just like it started, it stops.
Something else happened.
Sickbay is totally empty. Apparently, I no longer have any staff.
That surprises you, Doctor?
Surprises me? I'll say it surprises me. There should be at least 4 members of my staff on duty at all times.
I'm afraid ship's records do not concur, Doctor.
What are you talking about?
You do not have a staff.
You're telling me I'm the sole medical officer on a ship with over 1,000 people on board.
Excuse me, Doctor, but the entire ship's complement is 230.
In the conference room, Geordi's run all kinds of scans in sickbay and found no trace of this vortex phenomenon. They rule out Wesley's experiment when Data comes in and adds that the computer diagnostics all came back clean. There are no other ships in the area experiencing anything unusual. So Crusher asks if the crew is still all accounted for, and Data says, yeah, all 114 people are good. And of course, Crusher is the only one that finds this number wrong. She's like, why the fuck do we have so many empty apartments on board then? And Data says, transportation of colonists, diplomatic missions, emergency evacuations. Like, this is perfectly normal to all of them.
Yeah. Picard dismisses Data, and he tells him to have all non-essential personnel confined to their quarters and go to red alert. Like, he's literally taking her seriously. And then Riker walks out and Crusher says, can you have Worf program onboard sensors to monitor all personnel if we can catch the exact moment somebody disappears? And Picard's like, who?
Shit.
And she's like, Worf, chief of security, big guy who never smiles, the Klingon. Oh, man.
Beverly catches up with Deanna in the hallway because she really does think she's lost it now. She's delivered babies that don't exist and nobody else remembers. And she asks, what if it's not a conspiracy? What if it's me?
Mm.
And of course, if you have the mental faculties to ask, am I crazy? You're probably not. So Troy tells her, look, you're acting in the best interest of your ship and crew. That's all anybody can ask for. And she offers to have a complete evaluation done on Beverly at the starbase, assuming they actually make it there. And that reminds Beverly, Wesley. So she runs off to engineering and calls for him. And for a moment, it seems like maybe she's kind of panicking.
Too.
Yeah. But she's relieved when he turns up, not disappeared yet. He says he's reached out to Kaczynski, that nutter from that one episode where the D got thrown clear across the universe. He was no help, but Wes also reached out to his lab partner, the Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only guy we know that might have any idea what's happening here, but his home planet is so far away, it'll take days. Again, communications are either instant or inconvenient, depending on what the story needs.
Yeah. And Crusher has a really good point. She's like, do you think it's possible that you accidentally recreated something that your alien traveler friend from Tau Alpha C did?
Mm-hmm.
That it could alter reality? And Wesley's like, I don't see how, because he was the only one who could explain it. And he already sent a message. And yeah, so they can't get there. And he doesn't even know if he's still alive because at the time he was really ill. So Crusher's like, well, we can't stand around doing nothing. So they walk out of engineering and Crusher's just talking in the corridor. And as she looks back, Wesley's not there.
That was a great camera cut.
Yeah, it was.
Just to disappear him. That was good.
Heartbreaking, though, because that's her baby. That's her boy.
The bridge is deserted now, too. It seems only Picard and Crusher remain. And of course, he thinks this is perfectly normal. And now he definitely thinks the cheese done slid off her cracker. She starts reading down the call sheet, describing each of her co-stars, ending with, they all have been the living, breathing heart of this crew for over 3 years. They deserve more than to be shrugged off, brushed aside, just pinched out of existence like that. They all do. They deserve so much more. Picard's like, I think perhaps you should lock yourself in sickbay until we get to Starbase. You've gone absolutely mental.
She's like, well, does this make sense to you? It's just you and me, like, exploring the galaxy on this big-ass ship? Does that make sense? He's like, we've never needed a crew before. Are you fucking kidding me? What?
There's a moment here that I love because showing that she is not too far gone, she turns back to science to ground herself. She says there is a physical, measurable phenomenon at work here, and she wants to start by having the computer monitor Picard until he disappears, which Beverly is pretty sure is going to happen sooner rather than later. So yeah, she turns back to science. Like, there has got to be a plausible explanation for what is happening, and I'm going to fucking figure it out because I'm a scientist.
Hell yes. So she tells Majobot to start monitoring his life signs, temperature, pulse, all that. And you can hear Majel just constantly going in the background as they continue talking.
She apologizes for losing her temper, but he says if he truly has forgotten his closest friends and shipmates, then he probably deserved whatever lashing out he just received. Beverly starts to make a heartfelt admission about her feelings to him because this might be her last chance.
There's something I've really been wanting to tell you. I love that.
And she looks away just briefly, and when she looks back, the computer readout goes silent, and Picard is gone.
Oh.
She says, I won't forget. I won't forget any of you. and stands up to look around the empty bridge again when suddenly that vortex appears again. This time it's like at the view screen, pulling her towards it, but she grabs the hold of Data's chair, holding on for dear life again. But off camera, we hear a couple of voices that are familiar sounding. It's Geordi and Wes. And then we cut to engineering, the real engineering, where Geordi and Wes appear to be creating this vortex. Wes shows us on the console as the warp bubble pops forever. There's no way to save his mother now. Or is there? The Traveler suddenly phases into engineering and tells Wesley there is another way.
They're all gone? Riker, Troy, Data? Wait a minute, let me guess. You never heard of any of them?
You know, Doctor, I have been more than fair. I've done everything I can to substantiate your perceptions of a crew.
Will Riker, your first officer. He's very good at playing poker, loves to cook. He listens to jazz music, plays the trombone.
I cannot find any evidence of a Will Riker.
Commander Data, the android who sits at ops, dreams of being human, never gets the punchline of a joke.
Doctor, we'll be arriving at Starbase 133 in a few hours.
Deanna Troi, your ship's counselor, half-betazoid, loves chocolate. The arrival of her mother makes you shudder. O'Brien, Geordi, Worf, Wesley, my son. They all have been the living, breathing heart of this crew for over 3 years. They deserve more than to be shrugged off, brushed aside, just pinched out of existence like that. They all do. They deserve so much more.
So there's a whole nother show happening. That's what I was like.
Yep.
What we've experienced so far was Beverly's World. Beverly's World. Beverly's World. Party on. And then there's a whole other show that we were privy to that was happening, and we're already in Act 4.
Captains log into the conference room where it's confirmed that it's Beverly who's trapped inside the bubble, not anyone else. Apparently, it is her own belief that she is alive that's actually keeping her alive at this point.
The Traveler reveals that if she thinks she's alive, then she's alive. Okay, great. But the Traveler tells them, that humans have like a very narrow perception of space and time and thought. So when she was caught in this static warp bubble, she created her own reality. So the reality that she's experiencing is all from her own
Brain and brain. What is brain?
So yes, she created the reality inside the bubble the moment she was trapped, and it determined its shape and form, but we can't just go inside and get her out. The Traveler says he can help, but he needs Wes too, because you see, Wes is on this long character arc of expanding his brain and brain, what is brain, to see time and space differently.
I absolutely love that whole thread and how it comes full circle later in Picard.
This is the serialization of character that I like in my episodic TV. Anyway, that's how the Traveler knew to come here right now, was Wesley's mind reaching out to him somehow. But if they can open a doorway, Beverly will have to choose to walk through it.
Ooh. Back in Beverly's World. Beverly's World. Beverly's World. Party on. Just as you were mentioning before, she is using science. She's always going to go back to science, always going to go back to logic to try to figure out the problem. And she's talking to the computer and she's like, we are going to apply precise diagnostic methodology. Once we've cataloged the symptoms, we'll proceed with determining the illness and then find the cure. And they're going to start with the assumption that I'm not crazy. And if I am, it won't matter one way or the other. So she has the computer read the entire roster of the Enterprise and then Majel says, Dr. Beverly Crusher.
That's it.
Have I always been the only member? Yes. If this was a bad dream, would you tell me? And of course, that's not a valid question. So she's going through the hallway, looking in corridors, everybody's empty, and getting more information about what date did she report to the D? Is there more than one USS Enterprise? the vessel is the fifth ship. What's the primary mission? And like to explore the galaxy. Do I have the necessary skills to complete that mission? No, the computer says. Then she says, well, why am I the only crew member? And then, of course, that information is not available. So she makes it to the bridge and asks the computer about the inhabitants of Tau Alpha C, which is the traveler's home planet. And it is very far away. The estimated travel time is at warp 9.5 is like 100 and some days. So she asks the computer to just lay in a course. The computer acknowledges, and then when she sits in the chair, she sits in Daddy's chair and says engage. It doesn't engage. And the computer's like, there's no Tau Alpha C listed. So everything is disappearing.
Back in the Prime universe, per the Traveler's recommendation, the D is returning to Starbase and the exact position where the subspace bubble was formed in the first place. In engineering, Wesley and the Traveler are working together to create a stable opening between the realities. Step 1, Wes needs to let go of his guilt. He thinks he shouldn't have tried this experiment in the first place because that's what caused this whole mess. But the Traveler says, that's in the past now. I need you to be in the present. I need to open your mind to time and space and the intricate threads that bind them.
Mm.
We're going beyond the equations, beyond the maths itself. And the Traveler guides Wes over to the Miss Pac-Man table and has Wes start entering equations.
With his eyes closed.
And then, close his eyes. Yeah. And Wes is like, I can't do this.
And he's like, you will. You will, young Wesley. You will.
Meanwhile, in the bubble.
Beverly's World! Beverly's World! Party on!
Beverly's version of the D is also heading back to Starbase. But when she tries to call them, there's no answer. And when she turns on the view screen, there's nothing there but what looks like kind of a cloudy mist.
And she realizes, like, it's not just the people that are disappearing, it's everything. And she asks the computer what she's seeing, this mist. The computer answers that it's a mass energy field that is exactly 705 meters in diameter, and it's surrounding the ship. And then this is when Beverly says that famous line, if there's nothing wrong with me, maybe there's something wrong with the universe. She tries to get more information from the computer, but it can't penetrate the shield. And then so she says, okay, here's a question you should not be able to answer. What's the nature of this universe? And the computer says, the universe is a spheroid region 705 meters in diameter. So that mist is the universe for her.
The real Enterprise approaches the Starbase again, and they drive her in. Meanwhile, Wes and the Traveler are still working their minds at the Miss Pac-Man table. The Traveler announces they are moving into phase now, and Wes opens his eyes to see his warp bubble on the little monitor again, but it's collapsing.
Computer, what is that mist I'm seeing?
Sensors indicate it to be a mass energy field 705 meters in diameter.
It surrounds the ship.
Affirmative.
There's nothing wrong with me. Maybe there's something wrong with the universe. Here's a question you shouldn't be able to answer. Computer, what is the nature of the universe?
The universe is a spheroid region 705 meters in diameter.
In Crusher's world, Beverly's World! Beverly's World! Party on! Beverly's World! Beverly's World! I'm going to do that every time. Crusher asks the computer to give her a graphic representation of the universe. And then when it does, it gives her that same graphic that they were seeing in engineering. She's like, oh, I've seen this before. And it's basically that warp bubble. So then she realizes, oh, I'm the one who's trapped in the bubble. I'm trapped in the bubble. But then there's a bunch of ship shakes, and the computer says that there's explosive decompression from decks 5 through 14, and it's sealing off forward sections. The computer says it's a flaw in the ship's design. And Crusher says, show me. And then superimpose the ship over the warp bubble universe, whatever. So it looks like the ship is inside the bubble and it's slowly shrinking and it's cutting off, starting with the front saucer section of the ship. Hull integrity is now compromised on decks 3 through 15. And as far as life support, she's got 4 minutes and 17 seconds left.
In the Prime universe, the Traveler tells Wes that it's time. So Picard heads down to engineering while the Traveler tells Wes to close his eyes, okay, and let go of all the expectations and demands he feels.
Okay.
Okay. So Wes takes a deep breath, and the Traveler is like, the ability is within you. You don't need to look for it. Just close your eyes and think about it, and you'll solve the problem, or whatever.
Right. And meanwhile, in Beverly's world, party on! She's got 3 minutes. She's all talking to herself and saying, and hypothesizing, is that the right word? Okay, she's like, the Traveler uses thoughts to alter warp fields. Thoughts became reality. Now I'm in a warp field. Could I do that? So what's the next step? Okay, come on, Beverly. What was I thinking the moment that bubble formed? And then she realized she was thinking about Dalen Quace, and he'd said something about all the people that he'd ever known were gone. And she thought of her husband, and that really resonated with her. So then she went to see Wesley because she was all emotional. And then that's when the flash happened. And then that's when she started losing everybody. So she realizes that she created this universe, and her thoughts get her out. And the computer's like, that information is not available. She's like, I'm not talking to you.
My Alexa does that shit to me all the time.
Oh my God.
And my fucking Siri did it to me earlier in the episode today.
Mine
this
too.
bitch answers all kinds of stuff that I'm like, I wasn't talking to you.
I know. And Echo, when I'm watching TV, they don't even say anything remotely close to the word Echo, because that's his name.
That's your trigger word? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's computer. So when I watch Star Trek, it goes off a lot.
And I'm like, I'm not talking to you. But yeah, she's like, if I click my heels together 3 times, I'm back in Kansas. Could it be that simple? But then they switch back to what is it called? Prime universe?
Sure. Back on the D, Picard arrives in engineering to find Wes and the Traveler with their eyes shut, mashing buttons. And then the Traveler starts phasing.
The countdown starts. 2 minutes and 30 seconds of life support failure in Beverly's world. She's asking the computer, hypothetically, if a person is trapped inside of a warp bubble, what is the means of escape? And basically, they'd have to establish a stable threshold between the warp field and the outer environment. And after some yelling at the computer, the computer finally says it has to be a dynamic atmospheric disturbance of great intensity. That's how this threshold would, make itself known. And then she's like, oh, a vortex. That vortex, they must have been trying to reach me the whole time. And all she had to do was just let go and let the air, whatever, suck her in. But now she's got 1 minute and 30 seconds.
So she figures out they're likely trying to open this in engineering. So she gets in the turbo lift, and of course, because the bubble is disappearing parts of the ship for some reason, now it says it can't get her to engineering, even though engineering is a central part of the ship, but I digress. So she tells it to take her anywhere on deck 36. Back in engineering, Wes and the Traveler are both phasing in and out now.
Cool.
Wesley's ascending to a higher plane of existence.
He's ascending.
The universe is balanced on the back of a giant koala! Why is he smiling? What does he know?
They switch back to Beverly's world. She gets out of the turbo lift and has to fucking run because the ship is disappearing behind her in the blue mist.
And then we see the gateway open on the D. And then Crusher goes into her own engineering and seeing the gateway. She takes a running leap into the vortex just as Wes collapses on the Miss Pac-Man table.
And she actually collapses on the real floor back on the real universe. Oh, Captain. Oh, John Luke. He picks her up off the floor and she gives him a hug. And then she sees the Traveler.
She's a little surprised to see him there and thinks that he's the one that saved her. but it was really Wes.
Mhm.
So yeah, mother and son have a relieved embrace, and she asks, "This might sound a little crazy, but how many people are on board?" Picard says 1,014, including your guest, Dr. Quace. And LaForge is like, "Is there something wrong with that number, Doctor?" And she says, No, that's exactly the number there should be.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'll be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but you know, I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
My goodness, for a cheap bottle episode, this was pretty good.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great. And it was frustrating enough not knowing exactly what was going on, but I think audience members had an inkling of what was going on.
Mhm.
But it would have been way more frustrating had they not believed her.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would have been like, fuck this. I wouldn't have wanted to watch it. But yeah, I love that they believed her and they checked out her every
Yeah, they ran through every possibility before turning to the doctor's lost it.
Mhm.
And that was the reality that she created in her mind.
Right.
That is how the crew exists in her own memory of them and who they are and how they behave.
Right.
Because she created that reality inside the bubble, which I
True.
thought was really cool. She
True.
created them to be that way.
Yeah.
Because that's how she knows them. She knows them to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Logical, all about the safety of the crew.
Mhm.
They don't brush people off, Yeah.
I love seeing Gates get to chew the scenery. Like, this was a very Gates heavy episode, and she just crushed it. She's so good.
Yes, she did.
And I absolutely love that she falls back on science as the thing that grounds her to reality.
Yeah.
She went a little crazy along the way, but in the end, she was like, there has got to be a scientific explanation for what's happening.
Lots of self-analysis there. I mean,
Mhm.
she does go to Troy,
Mhm.
but she's then, Troy pretty much confirms, like, if you think you're crazy, then you're probably not crazy.
Right.
So back to science. So there's lots of self-analysis happening. And I think we should all do this, like, whenever we come into a problem or we feel a certain way.
Mhm.
Okay, let's break it down first. Like, and not analyze, like, why do I feel this way? Is it because of this? Or why did I do this? Or why is this happening? Like, break everything down.
And it would have been so easy for her to just like sit down on the floor and rock back and forth in total madness.
Like a bark like a dog. Yeah. But
she
didn't.
doesn't give up.
No.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I love seeing Eric Minuk again reprising his role of the mysterious traveler. That would be a fun cosplay. Mostly, I just want those big, thick, three-fingered gloves.
3 fingers. You get to paint yourself silver. That would be nice. I that would be kind of cool to do.
Yeah.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money?
The money he stole!
You stole his money? Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
As always, we want to thank everyone who supports the show, and a special thank you to our founding admirals over at the Patreon. Thank you to Allie, Sarah D, Bruce, some call him Tim, and the Matt Man. And this week, Allie, we're welcoming a new captain aboard.
Whoop, whoop.
A big welcome aboard to Captain Amity Anderson. Welcome aboard.
Yay! Thanks for supporting the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
Beck is back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet question. What the fuck do we call this segment?
Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge or something?
That's it. The Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge question for this week's episode. Remember me. We do not remember the question, so remember me the question.
I don't control the remember. Gates McFadden did all of her own stunts for the vortex effects sequences. But what happened shortly after performing the stunts where she is thrown from Data's ops console chair?
And we said she probably broke something and went to the hospital. Yeah.
Didn't she break her arm?
Your exact words were she needed medical care.
Okay, so she needed medical care. What is the correct answer?
It's technically true, but no, you're wrong.
The Admiral is definitely incorrect.
She found out she was pregnant.
Whoa!
Oh!
Oh! That's kind of like how you found out you were pregnant after you've been riding a barnstormer for...
Right? Yeah.
What's a barnstormer?
It's a roller coaster that you shouldn't ride when you're pregnant.
Oops.
Yeah, we were working at Disney at the time. And yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Morning sickness was really bad when I was riding that coaster in the morning.
Surprise!
Wow, that's exciting. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Next time on Humanist Trek, we'll review Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4, Episode 6, Legacy. A rescue mission leads the crew to the birthplace of their late comrade Tasha Yar, where they encounter her mysterious sister. Ishara, I believe is her name. The only thing I really remember about this episode is that this is kind of where we really flesh out the whole underground rape gangs, like the shit life that Tasha had growing up.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're beaming into an underground cavern or something. She's leading them to rescue some people who were being held captive or something. And she's like, I know these tunnels like the back of my hand. And then she turns a corner and hits her head on a pipe.
Is it really?
They've actually sealed off like one of the dealios and they get caught. That's what I remember. I don't know.
I remember much less.
What's our question for Legacy?
This is the 80th episode of TNG to air, which pushed this series beyond the 79 episodes of TOS. What subtle nod to TOS might one notice in Picard's log entry for this episode?
Oh man, I couldn't answer this because I
haven't seen it in a million years. Okay, it's a nod to TOS.
A nod to TOS. What's this episode about again? They're going to... Why did they go to the planet?
To rescue some people who were held captive, held hostage.
A nod to the TOS. And they're in a cave? Did they scan for silicon life forms this time? I don't know. I have no idea.
Right? I mean, there's kind of a parallel between the cage being in the caves, but that's not something in the log. What was in the log?
What's in the log? I don't know.
I don't either.
But they're in the cave, though. I'm saying they're in a cave. I was thinking of the Horta episode.
Oh, yeah. No. I really have no idea. I don't even have a funny guess for this.
Me either. My funny guess is he mentioned that they checked that there's no silicone life forms. I don't know. Honestly, I'm literally pulling shit out of my ass here.
All right. Well, if you want to pull shit out of your ass, you can head out to your social media and share this episode with the hashtag Starfleet Challenge. We'll pick out a winner, and then next time we'll discuss Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4, Episode 6, Legacy.
Do you seek Jehoshaphat?
Resistance is futile.
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcast. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com. and visit our website, humanistrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.